Everybody, what is going on? The Catch fam, hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. Hope you guys are ready for another live 2025 fantasy football mock draft with you guys with The Catch fam. Gonna hop into another full PPR mock. We're pumped to be here. We got Pete in the house. What's going on, man?
Not much. Tuesday night mock. It's becoming a full thing now. So I'm excited. Let's get it.
Let's go. All right, sending the final warnings out. Sorry, I know we were like 5-ish minutes late.
You don't want to know why we were late, guys. A lot of drama behind the stream.
My fault. Technical difficulties, but my fault. Same time.
Pure drama.
Yeah,
pure drama.
Freaking out about the thumbnail tonight, and I'm moving slow. So. These things happen, you know. But we're live and rolling, ladies and gents. So get in the live chat. Let us know how you guys are doing. Any fantasy football questions, redraft dynasty, or best ball, throw them our way. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun, talk some fantasy football, and let us know how you guys are doing, what's going on. We're in that time of year where, I mean, there's nothing to talk about. So let us know what you guys want to talk about, and we will go from there. But yeah, I'll double check. I literally think there's been no news whatsoever. Aaron Rodgers confirms this will be his last season.
He left the window slightly open, but probably his last year. He didn't say 100% it's over. He's just like, yeah, it's probably going to be my last year.
Yeah. Literally, like on the sleeper fantasy football news, there's that 10 hours ago, and then 14 days ago, J.K. Dobbins signs with the Broncos. There's nothing last week, nothing this week either. So, give us some good fantasy questions in the chat tonight, and we'll go off that, and we'll come up with some stuff as we get through it tonight. So good to see everybody. Cameron's in the house. Andrea, Ray Gamer. Good to have everybody out here tonight. And Taylor says Deontay Johnson admitted he can't play in the cold. That's about it.
That he still plays in the NFL? Question mark.
Yeah, what he's on the on the Browns. That's what I was gonna say, but it felt wrong saying that. But yeah, he's on the Browns.
Remember when he was good for like 3 weeks last year, and we're like the Deontay Johnson truthers over here?
I was really high. Really high.
He had some great games. Was it like week 3 or 4? He had a pretty big game.
Yeah, that was like one of my most drafted players last year. I will admit it. Yeah, it was right when I feel like that was right when Andy Dalton took over.
Maybe.
But 26 points in week 3, 21 in week 4, 5.9 in week 5, and 19.8 in week 6, and then that was it. Weeks 1 and 2 were rough.
It was over.
And now I want to check. Yeah, it was Andy Dalton started playing in week 3, weeks 3 through 6, and he got hurt in week 7. So,
and then they traded him.
Yeah, so shout out Deontay Johnson.
Shout out.
I could actually see an off world where he is semi-productive this year, but I still think he's like the 4th pass catcher on that team easily. Still think you got that Judy, Tillman, and Njoku in front of him. But it's just a tough offense for me to really look at and be like, what can we really expect out of like the primary guys? So it is what it is. All right, sorry, trying to get the poll set up real quick here. Make sure you guys hit the like as well. And then we'll keep talking about Deontay Johnson. Should have put Deontay Johnson on the thumbnail.
He also says he thinks Kenny Pickett will be the starter.
That I did see. I did see that. Which is interesting. I have no idea who I think. I still really feel like it's going to be Flacco to start the season, but
it's not going to be Sanders, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we did have Sanders got his speeding ticket. I guess that was like his second in the last like 60 days or something.
Yeah.
So, not like the NFL takes speeding tickets too
It's the
seriously.
judge, but for a 5th-round pick that you already have judgment questions on,
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
very concerned.
I feel like it's never quarterbacks really that
That's true, and you don't care. I don't care if my DB does it or my
Yeah.
wide receiver.
Jordan Addison can speed all he wants, but
Yeah.
we'll
Just got to
see.
catch the football.
Yeah. All right, Derek says in a 12-team two-keeper league, have the third pick. Not usually want to go elite tight end, but I kept JJ and McBride over Kyron. Should I keep Kyron instead? Running back might be dried up coming back around. It just depends, like where you took McBride, like because he's going. I mean, sometimes McBride goes in the second round, like, but generally I would say he goes in the beginning of the third. So like, if you took McBride late enough, I'm not totally against it. Also, you have to kind of think like who you're going to take with that third overall pick. If you're, gonna go for a running back like Bijan or Gibbs, like tonight we see Bijan gone at the 1-2, Gibbs gone at the 1-3. I'm seeing Barkley slide in more drafts lately, and at times I'm seeing Bijan slide as well. So, if you are planning maybe to go running back with that third overall selection, then I don't completely hate it. But I'd also ask where you took Kyron and what draft picks you're losing. I'm gonna assume you're losing the first rounder with JJ there, but
He may not be losing them. Some keeper leagues are just like straight. You keep 2
that's
guys.
true. That's true. It's a good point. So, yeah, if you're not losing draft picks, I mean, I think it's fine. I prefer Kyron personally, just because I think you're not gonna find elite value at tight end that late, but you want to keep McBride. You don't have to worry about tight end the entire draft. So, like, from a keeper perspective, I kind of like it because like you just literally don't have to draft a tight end at all. So Derek says everyone gets to keep 2 players. So all elite players basically gone. I was going to go double wide receiver, and we don't lose picks. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I assume somebody's keeping. Well, maybe I don't want to assume, but somebody might be keeping Bowers. It's like tight ends might be super thin across the board for you. So I don't hate it. I think that there's likely going to be keepers are always tough to plan for, man. I mean, my like OG league that I've been in like my whole life with like my best friends, like it's a keeper league, and it's like I try to prepare for it, and it's always the toughest draft to prepare for, and that is one where like everyone just loses one draft pick. But it's really hard to say what comes out of keeper leagues, So I would trust your gut. If you're good with JJ and McBride, I'm good with it, but it depends on what like running backs are going to be gone, And who do you realistically think you can take at the 1-3? Because I'm going to assume Bijan, Gibbs, and Barkley are gone then,
Yeah, probably Henry. Like maybe like a Genty or like Jonathan Taylor, or your next tier of running backs right there that could be available, like not kept.
Because that's the thing, like Genty might be gone at the 1-1 or 1-2. Like if you really think about it, everyone's keeping 2 players. Like essentially the first 2 rounds or like the first round and parts of the second and third round could be gone. You're gonna have some players like BTJ, Bowers.
Well, someone's gonna keep like a quarterback. Like if someone had Jane Daniels, they're probably gonna keep Jane Daniels.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So you could get a little help there. But
The
yeah, like
1-3 definitely
BTJ.
helps,
Yeah, like Neighbors, BTJ, London, Genty,
Yeah.
probably guys. That's maybe the top of the board you're gonna see.
Because like I personally would keep, without knowing your other options, I would probably keep JJ and Kyron, and I would just like punt tight end. But I'm comfortable punting the tight end position in general. So Tough choice. Keeper leagues are tough, man, and they're tough.
Well, what's the worst? What's the worst case? You could draft McBride at 3. You could just take McBride if the board's really bad.
Yeah,
just take McBride at 3.
Yeah, it's tough to give advice on it too because it's like without seeing what the board will be missing. It's hard to
It'd be a
say.
lot easier if these were like pick values. We could kind of
Yeah.
guesstimate, like, oh, I had McBride in the 7th round. It's like, yeah, keep McBride.
And that's the thing. Like generally with the keeper league, if you're losing a pick, that's kind of what I'll base the value off of. Like, like you draft BTJ in the 8th round last year or whatever. Like, yeah, you're gonna keep BTJ, right? Bowers went pretty late in a lot of drafts last year as well.
He's gonna be a top key. He's got to be like the best keeper.
I don't think Bucky. I mean, Bucky Irvin may have got drafted. It's like some keeper leagues.
Jaden,
like
Jaden
Daniels
at the back end of drafts for backup quarterbacks.
In some keeper leagues, like the strategy becomes like your last 2 or 3 picks just take like dart throw, like rookie type players. So like, Bucky can get selected, for example, but like most redraft leagues, like he may have not gotten selected. So it's tough to say. But hopefully you have some time to make that decision. Like you don't have to. You guys aren't drafting anytime soon, or I mean, at least not till August. But yeah, man, it's tough pickings there. Deontay Johnson thinks Pickett will be the starter. Pickett probably gets cut. That might be true. Yeah, that Browns offense right now. I mean, I just have a tough time. It depends on the ADP. Like, I will say I really like Njoku right now where he's going. He's been the tight end 11 or better in 3 straight seasons. And like, I mean, what has a quarterback play really been for David Njoku over the last 3 years? He did have that like insane run with Joe Flacco. Like, what was that, 2 years ago? Yeah. Weeks 14 through 17. He was like absolutely balling out. But based on ADP, I like Njoku a lot. I think Judy's fine. Said Tillman's a good dart throw. I don't want to like reach for Quinshon Junkins, but like he's fine. But it's just tough to say what that offense is going to be. But yeah, I mean maybe Deontay Johnson's our new sleeper. What's up, Chase? Good to see you. What's up, Ghost Hunter? Hello. Ghost Hunter went to the OKC victory parade. Nice. I've never been to a victory parade in my life. But I mean, Washington, we won a World Series in recent memory and Stanley Cup. Definitely no basketball victories, Washington. I don't think I've watched a Wizards game in like 15 years. Do you prefer taking a quarterback or tight end early or later? I'm in a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. So I think depending where I'm drafting, depending on where I'm at drafting, a onesie high is more optimal. I don't know what that last part means.
Which one? I think like which one high is more optimal?
Oh,
quarterback, tight end.
For me, I'm taking both late, just generally based on the few different strategies that I run. It's going to take a lot to change in like the fantasy landscape for me to go quarterback or tight end early. It's either hero running back, double hero running back, a kind of like bounce back method where I'm drafting both running backs and wide receivers. Just depending on which round I'm in and what I did the previous round, or like an aggro wide receiver build. And none of those strategies entail a early round quarterback or tight end. So, and I would say, I mean, 2 wide receiver, just 1 flex. Like we generally practice for 2 flex because it's a little bit more popular now. So 1 flex, like, you don't have to worry as much because have one less player that you're starting. So, you could kind of look at those different strategies and replace a skill position player with a quarterback or tight end if you prefer. Um, I would say generally speaking, there is more value at quarterback later on than tight end, but tight end's harder to pinpoint at the same time. Sorry, let me make this pick. I was thinking about going early quarterback tonight just to see what happens here, but I'm not going to. I guess I'm draft. I'm starting to feel like kind of gross on Monty, but I'll draft him. I meant to ask if you draft an early quarterback or tight end in a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex because they're more valuable. Fair enough. Yeah. So kind of the point I was making, like without that additional flex spot, you'll probably see more people target both the quarterback and tight end position. Whereas in a double flex league, like, those skill positions become a little bit more relevant, right? So once again, I think that there's better late round value at quarterback, but tight end is harder to pinpoint if you go early. Like, I think once the first 3 guys are off the board at tight end, you kind of get into dangerous territory. I still like Laporta, but like I think there are fair enough question marks around the like Laporta to like literally like after Bowers, McBride, and Kittle are gone, you got Laporta, Hawkinson, Kelsey, Johnny Smith, Andrews, Evan Ingram, David Njoku. Like I would just rather wait to draft a guy like Andrews or Ingram or Njoku. And if I don't land one of those guys, I'll just wait even longer and go like Kincaid or Kraft or Ferguson or Goddard. I like Laporta. I don't want to pay his ADP, but like Hawkinson, Kelsey, Johnny Smith area is a little like gray for me. So I think you'd have to pay a premium price for Bowers, McBride, or Kittle. And the advantage there is like if you do end up with like a waiver wire tight end or a late round tight end, then you can still flex. You can start a tight end and flex a tight end as well. So you think about the quarterback position every year, there are late round quarterbacks and undrafted quarterbacks who finish in the top 12, top 15, sometimes top 10, generally speaking, in the top 10. So less upside, but definitely good players for sure. DeAndre Swift is gone, so my night is ruined. Absolutely ruined. I haven't done like a 4 wide receiver start in a while, so wanted to see what would happen tonight, and so it's not too bad. All right, Derek, that's what I was thinking. I either get AJ Brown, Puka, or BTJ at 3 based on who's available. That's not too bad. That's not bad. I mean, start things off with JJ and one of these 3 wide receivers. Should be good. Should be good. Can either keep your tight end, have tight end out of the way, or have Kyron as an RB1. So not a bad start either way. What are your favorite league settings for your redraft leagues? In my home league, it's half PPR, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, and I'm pitching some ideas. For me, full PPR always. I hate half PPR. I just hate it. I don't think I'm in
So
any.
Would you go no PPR over half PPR?
No. I think it's better than standard.
There you go.
Honestly, like for the memes, the memories, I wouldn't mind playing in the standard league because like that's what when I first started playing fantasy in 5th grade, like that's
nobody played PPR. Yeah, PPR was not a thing. It's the old heads. The old heads hate PPR. They hate half PPR. They like standard because they think it's too easy to catch a football.
Yeah. And like that was always uh the appeal for me with PPR and even half PPR initially when both started to become a thing. And half PPR became a thing before full PPR. But when full PPR was starting to become a thing, it was like, oh, there's guys like Julian Edelman are now like super fantasy relevant and they weren't before. And like I thought that was cool. Like there's more players to choose from who can have an impact. And like now it's just like standard practice that people play half PPR, or excuse me, full PPR. Half PPR is like supposed to be the happy medium. I don't like half PPR, but I don't hate it. It's just like I don't know. One of my leagues was half PPR up until either last year or the year before, and I had some very intense arguments about this, but I do think it's if you're in enough leagues, like it's fun to have different settings. And like with the amount of leagues I'm in, I would play in a standard league right now or a half PPR. But generally full PPR, one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, a tight end spot, two flex spots, I think is the best overall setting for fantasy scoring and rosters. I'm a 6 point per rushing and throwing touchdown person. So that will balance out the like sheer upside of
Hurts.
rushing quarterbacks.
Hurts.
Well,
Just hurts.
Some people don't like that, which I think the argument against it is fair because then it gives value to like drafting Lamar and Josh Allen and Hurts and Daniels higher. But I think it just makes it a little bit more even.
Yeah. They count the same, don't they? They're all worth they're worth 6 points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and I just think like there are quarterbacks rushing for enough touchdowns in today's day and age that like it should be the same amount as a running back. If running back's getting 6 points for a rushing touchdown, then a quarterback should as well. Where that's still like a thing that's up in the air. Some leagues have 4 points for running backs who rush 8 touchdowns. So, other than that, like I don't change any. Like it's all like standard settings. I know one like popular niche is points per first down. And that's like a thing that some people do. And they argue that it's more efficient than full PPR, but I've never played with that or toyed with it. I think like, uh, you know, having some bonuses for some leagues is fine. Like, you know, as long as the commissioner makes it clear week 1 and everyone's good with it, like 400 plus passing yards or like a 50-yard passing touchdown or, 60-yard touchdown reception counts for an extra 2 points. Like, I don't mind that stuff. I think it's fun. But the way I have to run leagues where like, there's 5 different catch leagues and like, you have to keep the scoring stuff pretty even peel across the board. So, but yeah, basically what we practice for is what I run for the leagues for the catch outside of like the super flex leagues and stuff like that. They might be a little bit different. Dynasty is going to be league dependent. And, but I would say for half PPR, 2 flex is still perfectly fine. I think 2 flex makes it just a little bit more competitive too, overall. There's an extra player for each team at stake every week, Do y'all think Genty will be a bust this year?
That's not true. The Raiders O-line is good. They're not bad.
Raiders O-line is not that bad. But I have brought this up before. I could see him finishing like I think it'll be very, very good as a rookie. But it could be kind of similar to Bijan Robinson's rookie year, where like I don't think Genty is going to break fantasy. Like I think NFL defenses will be ready for him. But yeah, I think he'll be a top 10 running back if all goes well. Bijan was an RB9 in his rookie season. I think we talked about this one stream, and then Pete kind of pointed out the fact that Arthur Smith kind of botched Bijan Robinson in the red zone his rookie season. So
and
there's
we have
probably
a better quarterback, Geno Smith,
Yeah.
and then a better tight end. Like Bowers is going to get a ton of looks and stuff, and people are going to have to back off, and a pretty good wide receiver one like Jacoby Myers. So it's like he's not going to be looking at crazy boxes. I think, Genty's in for a very strong season. Maybe not like top 5, but 10, easy top 10. I feel like he could get.
Yeah, I wonder. In terms of the Raiders, I don't know. I was gonna look up their offensive line performance last year, like rankings.
Well, it's going to be bad in the run game because their running backs are so bad. That's not the fairest assessment.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, they're not like elite or anything, but like they weren't bad. And also, like, I think it's important to remember that, like, I mean, the entire offense was not like you pointed out, like Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell were leading the pack there. It's not like they had like a ton of opportunities for their running backs either. But there were some weeks where those like running backs were coming out of nowhere. I mean, they're ranked 18th overall at the end of last year, but they have improved, if I'm not mistaken, in the offseason a little bit. But also, like, this might sound dumb, but like I try not to really panic about offensive lines. Like with the right coaching, like sometimes offensive lines just like change over the course of an offseason. Like maybe not as a linear example, but like the year Tom Brady went to the Bucks, it was like I don't know if there's going to be a thing because his offensive line's so bad, and they did draft Tristan Wirfs, who's like one of the best offensive linemen in the league now. But outside of that, it was kind of like up in the air, and then that offensive line was great that year, So I try not to worry about it too much, and good skill position players can like still make it through with the mediocre offensive line. But yeah, this offense should be better overall this year between Geno and Brock and Jacoby Myers, and we have some options for wide receiver too there that mainly like Jack Besh and keep forgetting this other rookie's name, Donta Thornton. People like, or he seems to be making some buzz. So, I mean, they should be better than last year. And he says just based on where he's being drafted. Dang, C-Mac went at the 111 tonight. To Cameron. I was hoping no one was going to draft J.K. Dobbins. I'm not having a very good night tonight. I mean, I'll say this much, like, if Genty's gone beginning of the second and I have a later second round pick, like, I'm perfectly fine with Henry, Jacobs, A-Chain, Bucky, or JT. I'm even fine with guys like Kyron and Chase Brown, kind of like on that outside looking in that tier. So we'll find out. No Devonta or Swift. No, actually, I could have drafted Devonta, but I passed on him because I had AJ Brown. We went JMO. But yeah, no Swift, no Pacheco, no Devonta, none of my boys. No J.K. Dobbins.
Not a boy night.
I almost went Dobbins in the 8th. So I'm left with no choice, but I got to take one of my guys.
Well, you opened with 4 wide receivers. Put you behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. This was a true 0 RB team tonight. Yeah, so let's see. Raiders offensive line. additions. They drafted Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant, signed Cody Whitehair and Ben Brown, and added Alex Kappa. So Cody Whitehair, Alex Kappa, good additions. And I don't know exactly where. So Caleb Rogers can play guard and tackle at a Texas Tech. Charles Grant, more of the developmental pick out of William and Mary. But yeah, I mean they added depth at worst. They're trying. To answer your question, Ghost Hunter. All right, let's see. Ghost Hunter, I hate 4-point passing touchdowns. It just makes passing quarterbacks almost a liability if you're facing Hurts, Lamar, or Allen. Did I say that wrong? Is it? Oh yeah, I guess it's 6 points per passing touchdown that I like. Yeah. I think I said it the opposite way. But you guys knew what I was putting down.
Yeah, like makes Joe Burrow why is Joe Burrow being devalued when he's throwing 45 touchdowns last year?
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, passing touchdowns are 6 instead of 4. All rushing touchdowns are 6. Yeah, I said it.
I think you could make an argument if you made it 5 for a passing touchdown, so you get 1 extra for the rushing touchdown if you wanted to be like that. Because 4, that's a big difference between 4 and 6. That's hard to overcome.
That's what Katz is saying. 5-point passing touchdown, tiered PPR for tight ends and running backs. Interesting. Big play bonus.
I like the big play bonus. We have a big play bonus in my home league.
Yeah.
50 and 60-yard touchdowns.
I don't mind that at all. Yeah, tiered PPR is interesting. And more leagues are starting because Dynasty, most Dynasty leagues are tight end premium just to kind of keep the value there. But more people are opening up to more points for tight ends because the position's getting so underwhelming, outside of the top 4 guys every year, it's the point disparity is pretty alarming. So I don't hate that. I mean, I think if you're just gonna set up a league and you want to keep everything basic and keep everyone happy and essentially what I have to do when I'm setting up paid for leagues with a ton of you guys that I've met online through the channel. It's only thing I maybe change is the passing touchdowns. It's full PPR and it's double flex. But I think as I get more comfortable and people are good with changes and commissioner puts out a vote or whatever, I mean, I'm kind of good with everything. But I think those type of decisions should always be made before the draft. Of course, it's going to impact the draft. If you add receptions for tight ends after the draft, that's going to piss people off. Could have one fun league, but it's hard to agree on point structure. Yeah. I've always wanted to do one league that is just 2 tight ends, 2 kickers, 2 defenses,
super flex,
3 quarterbacks,
2 quarterbacks super flex league. So yeah. 3 quarterbacks.
Just, I've always wanted, you still have to kind of think about it. It gets difficult with quarterbacks because there's only 32 in the pool. Obviously, as the season goes on, there's going to be injuries and things like that. But
what about? Have you seen the league where if your quarterback makes a tackle, it's 70 points?
No,
tackle for there's a league like that. So if your quarterback throws a pick and then gets a tackle or a tackle on a fumble, you basically win the week.
That is, that's a little extreme, but that is kind of awesome at the same time.
Well, if we're playing 3 quarterbacks, we go 20 points for a tackle.
I see.
Yeah, if you go, so everybody's got all the quarterbacks there. So even those terrible quarterbacks now all of a sudden have some value.
Yeah, I'm all for
spicy
a
league.
fun league. But then like sometimes like the problem is like it's fun for a few weeks and then people start to get like almost like burnout because they're like, oh, like I lost and like it's the way I lost so stupid, you know. And then like they stop paying attention and like the competitiveness. But I don't know if there's money involved, like you know, most people will stay around. So did you see the Ayuk leak / report that he actually did have to repair his MCL? No. But I also have been off of Ayuk, so I don't care. Didn't we have a big Brandon Ayuk debate last week? Was that last week?
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't see this, Cats. Sleeper doesn't have that update. I'm not saying that's not true, but yeah. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be ready week 1 whatsoever. I don't think anybody thinks that. So J-Dubs has hit the like. But yeah, I mean, it could be a couple additional weeks potentially. I feel like what? It's like supposed to be like week 4 to 6 right now. Take Tom Brady. I hear he's making a comeback.
He did win the Fnatic games.
Well, yeah, did see a lot of Brady clips, but also people were like talking about, I guess on the new season of quarterback, Jared Goff makes a comment about it's like Tom Brady's commentating on one of the Lions games and talking about playing for the Lion. I don't know. And Jared Goff comes in because Jared Goff's on the new season and says like, "Too bad, like I'm the starting quarterback." I'm really paraphrasing here, not telling the story as good as it is, but people are now saying that Tom Brady's going to unretire and join the Lions just to put Goff on the bench. So we'll see. How many touchdowns do you think Jonnu gets if he ends up on the Steelers? I don't think he's going to end up on the Steelers. So honestly, I think his fantasy value goes down if he joins the Steelers. I know Arthur Smith has done like interesting things with him in the past, but I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like that situation for him. I think he'll be with the Dolphins personally. We'll find out. I actually am starting to kind of rise on DK Metcalf. I mean, Rodgers effectively fed Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams last year. And like when he really wanted to, like, I mean, Adams had some monster games at the end of the season last year. I worry more about the overall system. I don't know how much freedom Rodgers is going to have in this system. It also feels like a trap, but like, I mean, Metcalf's going in the 4th-ish round. And he is the wide receiver 1 there. Like, there's no one on that depth chart at the position that worries me. So I can see Metcalf just, as long as he's healthy, like, he's going to garner a lot of targets. But yeah, I don't think Johnny's going to end up on the Steelers.
No, he's not. They've already packed out of that.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. Jonnu had what, 9 touchdowns last year? 8. But I mean, almost all of them came weeks 11 or later. All but one were between weeks 11 and 18. 18 doesn't really matter to us, right? But I like him best where he is. So we'll see. Ayuk, more like Ayuk. Yeah, I mean, it's the 49ers receiver room is kind of weird. I mean, I feel like Jennings and Pearsall are rising a little bit in drafts, but it's not too crazy. 7-3 for Pearsall tonight. Jennings at the 7-6. Ayuk in the 9th. I feel like Ayuk is moving back a bit. But like he's not gonna be ready to start the year. think Metcalf has a down year. Rodgers loves crisp route runners. DK certainly not that. Rodgers might just kill him. Yeah, could be. But I also feel like this is one of those narratives that like is going to be kind of over like blown out of proportion this offseason. Like, and don't get me wrong, it does feel gross. Like Rodgers is old. Like the Steelers' offensive system is like, I mean, we saw it last year. Like even when Russ was starting to get going, it's still like a system that's really in the box. It's just, I don't know. But like I said, I think it kind of comes down to how much freedom they actually give Rodgers. But also certain defenses, I just don't know how hard it's going to be to like. It's like it's just so easy to game plan right now. So, and like, but here's like, who else is going to throw to? I mean, Fryermuth, sure. I don't really feel like the running backs are necessarily like huge pass catchers. Caleb Johnson, his collegiate career, I mean, yeah, he had 7 receptions his first 2 years and 22 last year is like, yeah, I mean, not a pass catching running back. And I don't really think of Jalen Warren as a pass catching running back either. So like, yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, I keep forgetting who's the hold on. I got it. Calvin Austin is there. Calvin Austin's okay. He had some good games last year. Roman Wilson did nothing last year. Bobby Trees is on this team. Ben Skowronek. Scotty Miller's on the Steelers. I didn't know that. So yeah, we got a bunch of guys who might be good on like your Madden team. I do think, you know, we could get some production there at the wide receiver 2 spot. But it's certainly not as promising as some other rosters. Once again, I still think the Steelers should have held on to Pickens, but what do I know? All right, let's see. Yeah, I am still curious to see how that running back room develops for sure. I do like Caleb Johnson. Yeah, that's true. Iowa does not throw the football. Fair. But how often even did like I feel like Rodgers didn't even like throw to Brees Hall last year.
No, they threw to Braylon Allen if they were going to throw the ball.
Yeah, he did in that was it game against the Titans? 4 catches, 2 receptions, receiving touchdown week 2. That was like the doom and gloom Brees Hall game, even though Brees Hall had 24 points. Brees Hall also had 7 catches in that game, so maybe that's not a great example.
Just a good game plan for
yeah.
throw ball.
But like 2023, I mean, Brees had a lot. I mean, I don't remember what the quarterback situation was, but he had 6 or more catches weeks 12 through 17, except for week 15, which I think it was hurt in that game. But that was like the year where like Brees Hall really benefited from the backup quarterbacks. You know, he had 76 catches in 2023. Last year he had 57 catches. So I don't know. There were some okay weeks for Brees Hall last year, but yeah, I mean, 5 or more catches in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. So not awful, but not great. That's right. Fields has the highest check down rate of active quarterbacks. That's my guy. Yeah, the Jets offensive coordinator is like coming out and saying all these things about Breece Hall, like everything that would make you want to draft Breece Hall this year. Like, he wasn't healthy last year. He's healthy now. We didn't know we should throw to him. Like, okay, we'll find out. All right, team reviews. Let's see what we did, boys and girls. T-Bone, Purdy and Love. I'm good with it for late round quarterbacks. Laporta at the 8-7. So Kittle goes in the 5th. We don't see a tight end gone till Laporta. I like Laporta in the 8th round. Barkley, A-Chain, Henderson, Bashal Tootin. I'll take it. I mean, coming right out of the gate with 2 studs. Adams, Ted McMillan, Pickens, Jennings, Pittman, Bateman. I mean, good value at wide receiver throughout this draft for sure. So you're starting Purdy or Love, Laporta, Barkley, A-Chain. Then you're just starting those first 4 wide receivers in my eyes. So the bench would be Henderson, Pittman, Tootin, Bateman. Got extra quarterback. Yeah, solid team. All right, Katz says he's got a new strat.
All running backs.
Aggro running back. And all right, let's see here. Bijan, JT, Chase Brown, Walker's good. No other running backs, yeah. Hurts and Kraft is fine. I mean, Hurts in the 7th, so when I almost took a quarterback early in this draft, it was Hurts, and he still lasted till the 7th round. Anyways, I don't mind Kraft. Devonta and Addison, perfectly fine. I like Mooney, Shaheed, and Tillman. Pat Bryant, Darius Slayton. Like, you got to take some dart throws there. I mean, think about this team. Like, you're starting Hurts and Kraft. It kind of depends on how far you think Kraft will go, but obviously, although he was touchdown dependent last year, still a top 10 tight end. Then you're starting Bijan and JT. You're going to flex Chase Brown, flex Walker, start Devonta, and start Jordan Addison, which in theory makes sense, but Addison then can miss time if he does get suspended. So I don't know. I like the Hurts pick because like it just solidifies that position. But I almost would have maybe taken a receiver over Hurts and gone late round quarterback. But I don't know. That's pretty good value where you got him. So that's tough to say. Because like Baker and Burrow didn't fall. But like maybe if you go like Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakir, maybe Jennings, if you like him more. I still think Mooney's a good pick. And you still could have gone Shaheed. I think you could have got Nix or Murray in the 10th. Instead, Tillman probably would have lasted. Like, I know he's popping up here and there, but he's still a late round guy. So, yeah, not a bad run for the new strat. All right, Chase is at the 1-9. Bo Nix, the GOAT. I'd be a little shaky going into the year with my boy Zach Ertz, but he did have a very good season last year. It's just the age. He's up there. But we'll see what he puts together next year. Might be looking on waivers. Henry, Swift, Najee, Ramondre. I'm fine with it. I think Najee's still being undervalued. Ramondre's fine in the 9th. I like Henry and Swift. Amon-Ra, DJ Moore, Metcalf, Flowers. Not a bad start. At wide receiver. Diggs, Trey Harris, Jack Besh. I like the rookie dart throws. Why not? Starting Bo and Zach Ertz, Henry and Swift, Amon-Ra, DJ Moore, Metcalf, and Flowers. I mean, it's a pretty solid starting lineup. Other than maybe Zach Ertz, but as long as he's healthy, he's probably fine. Yeah, I'm okay with it. That's right. Nathaniel Hackett is still the Jets offensive coordinator. Is he?
No, he's not. They got somebody. They had to bring somebody in from
That's
Detroit.
right. They did change. Okay, that's my okay. Yeah. There's no way he's on the team. Who's the Jets? It's Tanner Ingstrand. That's right. He's the passing game coordinator for the Lions. That's right. He came over with okay. Yeah. He has claimed that at least that Brees wasn't healthy last year. Cameron, what's up, man? Lamar and Kelsey. Once again, I'm okay with Kelsey in the 9. Titans got pretty pushed back in this draft. Lamar, you're fine there. C-Mac and Genty. Scatabo, Algier, Braylon Allen. Very Cameron running back room. Tyreek Hill, Hunter Ridley, Debo, Jaden Higgins, Luther Burden. A pretty good value at receiver here. Lamar and Kelsey, C-Mac, Genty, Hill, Ridley, Hunter, Debo is how I view that starting lineup. Then you've got a bench. Got some good handcuffs. See how the rookie receivers shake out. I mean, there's some good upside on this team. I'll say that much. All right, J-Dubs. 112 went quarterback early round. Allen too good to ignore. So you take the first quarterback in the draft at the 4-1. And the second tight end. So you got Allen and McBride. Nothing else to say there. B-Tom, Lundo, Roma Dunze, Kyle Williams, Hollywood, Josh Palmer, RJ Harvey, Jordan Mason, Etienne Davis, Hunter. I don't know. This team's a little spooky to me. Sorry, guys. I keep meaning to highlight each team, and I'm on the wrong screen, but we'll be good now. Because let's see. You're starting Allen and McBride, B-Tom, London, Harvey, and Etienne. Harvey and Mason and Etienne. You got good handcuff situations here. Then you're flexing Roma Dunze and flexing Hollywood or Kyle Williams, or one of the running backs. And you got the Rams rookie running back 2. I don't know. This team makes me a little nervous, J-Dub. I think I guess Harvey's fine. Running back was tough tonight in these rounds too. But I like Ray Davis as much as the next guy, but I would basically be going for all standalone value here. But you look Jones, Swift, Pacheco, Pollard, some of those rookies, Brian Robinson, Tracy, Najee Harris, all kind of wiped out right there. That tier basically taken away from you really hurts, I think. But you got upside at quarterback and tight end. 2 solid wide receivers, so you just have to put together the pieces. All right, Andrea, what do we do tonight? Burrow and Jonnu. I'm okay with both of those selections. Brees Hall, Cook, Jones, Bigsby, Garando. Pretty good running back value. Collins, Ladd, McConkey, Waddle, Cup, Leggett, Hopkins. So we're starting Burrow, Jonnu, Hall, Cook, Nico, Ladd, McConkey, flexing Waddle and Aaron Jones, maybe flexing Cup. I mean, it's pretty solid. I do like the first 4 picks a lot. I'm not in on Waddle this year. He's on the thumbnail tonight, though. On the thumbnail. So there's that. But I don't know. I would maybe I like Waddle at the end of the 5th isn't too bad. I maybe almost take the upside of Hunter Adunze there. But I like Ridley. I would reach for Godwin or Addison before I take Waddle. Call me crazy. But it's definitely startable. So Burrow, Smith, Hall, Cook, Nico, Ladd, Waddle, and Jones. It's not the worst. Cup good on the bench. I think Bigsby and Garando were good values. I don't hate Leggett. T Hop, whatever. It's your 13th round pick. Not a bad team. All right. Ray Gamer, what's up, bro? Baker and Kyler. Double quarterback action. Kittle and Andrews. Double tight end action. Jacobs, Kamara, Pacheco, Spears. Not bad running back value through the draft. Puka, Mike Evans, Shakir, Adam Thielen, Quentin Johnston. Yeah, it's just tough for me. Like, if you go double quarterback and double tight end, you kind of sacrifice value somewhere. And I don't love sacrificing value at wide receiver. I think that's what happened here. But, I mean, you're starting one of the two quarterbacks, one of the two tight ends. Like, you're good there. And then Jacobs, Kamara, Puka, Evans, solid there. And flexing Shakir, probably flexing Pacheco. If not one of the tight, I mean, you could flex one of the tight ends too. So you do have that option. So that at least gives you that advantage with the two tight ends. But yeah, I think Thielen and Johnston will actually have moments in their offenses this year, but I'm not like, if you're kind of weaker tight end, I'm not feeling crazy there. I don't mind Shakir in the 7th though. But at least you could flex Andrews. Shane, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Chase got sniped hard on Jonnu. It was a very snipey draft tonight. What's up, Bryce? If you're in a catch league already, do you get first dibs on rejoining? If you guys want to be in a league this year, you'll be in a league. But I'm saying it right now. There will be league safe set up. You will not get the sleeper invite this year until you pay for your league. I'm not calling anyone out individually, but I will not, at the end of the year, be paying out for people who did not pay for their leagues this year. I will ensure that does not happen again. Because every year it happens, and last year I really tried to avoid it happening, and it still happened. So this year the league safes will be set up, and the only way to get the sleeper invite is when you have paid for the league. But don't worry about it. If you guys want to be in a league, all you have to do is get the league safe invite, pay, and you guys will be in. So don't worry. I'll make sure everyone who wants to play will be able to play. But like the Superflex League and like the auction league, and like don't worry. If you guys are in those leagues, you're invited back. Those leagues are still intact. J-Dub's never spooked. Aaron Jones play. Yeah, I mean, your team, you need an injury, right? You need a James Cook and a Aaron Jones injury.
Take the over. I'll take the over on that.
Yeah, I mean,
6. That's an easy over. He doesn't miss games. He misses in the game. He doesn't miss games.
John will bring a bat to your kneecaps if he doesn't get his money. No, I honestly, I was just disappointed at the end of the last year. I was like, I'm not gonna call anyone out, and it is what it is. I don't like lose sleep over it, but I was like, come on, man, come on, yeah, hit the like button. All right, I almost forgot about me and Pete. Pete, what we do tonight, man? Mahomes and Njoku, good values there. Yeah, that kind of tier QB like Mahomes, Kyler, Bo lasted pretty long tonight. Even, I mean, those 10th round tight ends, Jonnu, Andrews, Ingram, and Njoku, good value. Bucky, Omarion Hampton, Tracy Charbs, Nick Chubb, JJ McLaurin, Worthy, Godwin, Matthew Golden, McMillan. Pretty solid across the board. He basically went like wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back. Outside of his 5th and 6th, he went wide receiver back to back. So
I hated the running backs when Godwin was too good to pass up.
Yeah, Godwin, I love it in the 6th round there. So Mahomes and Joku, Bucky, your choice of RB2, probably Hampton. I think Tracy could be there at times. Then JJ, McLaurin, Worthy, Godwin. I like Golden on the bench a lot. I like your bench running backs, and I think McMillan and Chubb are appropriately drafted here. So no hate from me. I like this team actually. Okay, here's a little zero running back for research purposes tonight. Jared Goff's my quarterback, but don't forget, top 10 QB 3 years in a row. We don't need Ben Johnson. Okay, we don't need him.
Overrated, I heard Ben
Yeah.
Johnson.
We don't need him. I have 3 Lions on this team. Evan Ingram. I was happy to see Ingram there in the 10th. And I'm glad I took him because I was thinking about waiting around and seeing if Njoku would fall. So happy it went Ingram. All right, 0 RB, Monty Pollard, Rashad White, Dowdle, Eckler. I don't hate it, but there's I think all these guys are fine where they're drafted, but I don't really see any upside here. I think Pollard maybe. But I prefer Swift in that range. I almost went Swift over Monty, to be honest. I think it's fine. If you go 0 RB, you're not getting upside at running back, generally speaking. So I'd have to reach for White, Dowdle, or Eckler. So I think they're fine. But wide receivers are very good. Neighbors, AJ Brown, MH, JMO, Myers, Reed. I'm happy with that receiver room. So starting Goff and Ingram, Neighbors, Brown, flexing MH, flexing JMO, 2 good flex options, in my opinion, on the bench at receiver. We're starting 2 of these running backs. We'll figure it out. So research purposes. J-Dub's betting the over on Mason over Aaron Jones. Wants you to know it, Pete. In terms of touchdowns.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. You said Jones wouldn't play 6 games. Did I call false on that?
We appreciate you, Chase.
I don't know who our red zone running back's going to be.
It's going to be Johnny
Probably
Munt.
Mason. Yeah, Johnny Munt not on the team anymore.
Big mistake.
He's on the Jags, I think.
Yeah, the Vikings. The Vikings are losing this year. It's because they let Johnny Munt go. Team of the night. I feel like you guys haven't been asking team of the night in a long time. I liked Tay Moan's team, actually. I actually really like Pete's team, but I'm not allowed to pick Pete. It's against the rules. But I thought Pete's team was pretty solid. I do like Tay Moan's, Purdy or Love, fine. Laporta, Barkley A-Chain. I'm not crazy about the bench running backs, but I think Barkley A-Chain's enough. Adams, Tet, Pickens, I don't know, Jennings, Pittman, Bateman. I just felt like everyone was appropriately drafted. It's an even roster. Cats, I actually don't hate your team for a 0 wide receiver build, but the running backs all have to be healthy, because you got to be able to flex those 2 running backs. Chase's team was pretty good too, but Zach Ertz maybe a little concerning there. So it was an interesting draft tonight, actually. I feel like you guys really switched it up from what we've seen the past couple of weeks. So yeah. Honestly, this is kind of a weird draft. I'm not gonna lie, guys, but it was fun.
It was weird.
Johnny Munt's gonna re-sign with the Vikings. I'm calling it now. Who's the Ty Chandler. Ty Chandler's my call. I'm taking the over on Ty Chandler touchdowns this year.
So bad.
CJ Ham at fullbacks there. Yeah, I'll bet on Ty Chandler. This is remember we were drafting Ty Chandler in late rounds last year?
Yeah, it's terrible.
And it was kind of the same thesis, Aaron Jones is going to get hurt.
That's why Cam Akers. That's why we traded for Cam Akers.
Yeah. That's who I wanted to say. Who's Akers? Where's Cam Akers these days?
He's on the. He just signed with the Saints.
Let's go. Shout out Cam Akers. All right, guys. Thank you guys for drafting, hanging out, talking fantasy. I know it's the slow time of year, and we got about a month till training camp, and then things will start kicking off a bit. But we'll keep drafting, and I had some family in town this past week and the week before, so I didn't do an Underdog stream this past week, and haven't put out as many videos, but we're still putting out plenty of videos for you guys, shorts, all that good stuff, and just a couple of weeks we'll start really getting everything in front of you guys, and we still have plenty of content that'll be out over the next week or so, so make sure you guys are keeping your eyes peeled, and we'll run an Underdog stream next weekend, and we'll be back probably again on next Tuesday night for another subscriber mock, so make sure you guys are keeping active on Discord, and we'll go from there. So Pete, I'll let you say bye, and we'll get on out of here.
Yep. Another, actually, kind of a weird draft tonight, guys. I had to do a lot of thinking. So that was fun. Almost into July. So training camp's coming up in about a month. So let's get excited. Keep practicing mocking over here. I don't know. We're running out of stuff to talk about. It's definitely the dead season for football. So
well, we'll make some scripts for next week or something.
Yeah, we'll
give you guys
cause drama. So we got to cause some drama or something.
Some hot takes for you guys, but we'll keep going hard for mock draft season. You gotta love it. All right, guys, everyone have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again for drafting and talking some fantasy. With that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening, and remember, you saw it here on The Catch, and peace.